Metro Parks has a big announcement. Changes are coming to J Street on Hilltop to improve safety. We have highlights from this year's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration, and we'll take a look at exciting new developments at the Foss Seaport. These stories and more coming up on Tacoma Report. Hi, I'm Laura Proctor. Welcome to Tacoma Report. The city's Community and Economic Development Department has secured a $4 million grant from the Washington State Department of Commerce to support business and community and reinvestment. The Community Reinvestment Project will offer loans and grants to businesses and nonprofits focusing on historically underserved areas. Of the $4 million, $2.6 million will fund revolving loans through the Tacoma Community Redevelopment Authority, while $1.1 million will support commercial rent, asset grants, and technical assistance. Information sessions will be held in January and February, with applications open from January 21st to March 14th. Learn more at makeitTacoma.com/events. During the City of Tacoma's Links to Opportunity outreach efforts, members of the public shared their concerns about speeding and safety in the Hilltop area around J Street. The city is now addressing many of those issues.
First, they will see some improvements to reduce speeding and really reduce the number of cars that are using J Street as a cut-through traffic route. So that'll be things like bulb outs that reduce the crossing distance when pedestrians are trying to cross the street and help calm traffic. It'll be things like daylighting that make sure that cars aren't parking way too close to the intersection. That makes it hard for folks to see what's going on the side streets. And then also traffic diverters, and those help reduce the number of cars using this as a cut-through route.
Work is set to be completed in March 2025 when the city will be adding an urban art component to the project. If you are over the age of 50 and looking for a special Valentine's event aimed at seniors, the 50 Plus Senior Sweethearts online dating profile workshop and mixer is for you. This is a free event held at People's Center on Thursday, February 13th between 1 and 3 p.m. Activities will include a mixer with light refreshments, an online dating profile workshop, and games to break the ice with potential new connections. Whether you're looking for love or just some new pals, you're bound to find it at People's Center on February 13th. Metro Parks Tacoma is now Parks Tacoma. Why drop the Metro from the name? This video from Parks Tacoma explains.
45% visit a park to escape chores. 67% visit to keep their New Year's resolutions, at least until February. No matter the reason they visit, 100% agree. Parks make life better. Metro Parks Tacoma is now Parks Tacoma. From hundreds of programs to a golf course, zoo, and wildlife park, parks are at the heart of it all. Where connections, activities, and adventures start, discover more at parkstacoma.gov.
The decision was made after a community survey showed that only a fraction of visitors associated the previous brand with the 4 community centers: golf course, museum, wildlife parks, and other facilities, all owned and operated by Parks Tacoma. The new look is being rolled out across the district and leads with a future that people say they value and recognize the most: parks. Parks Tacoma says the update, which an outside agency was contracted to create, is an investment that should result in better understanding of the full range of programs and places they provide. The last major update to Parks Tacoma's brand was over 25 years ago. More information is available on the new Parks Tacoma website, parkstacoma.gov/brand.
We've come to praise His name. We've come to praise. We've come to clap our hands.
On January 20th, hundreds of people filled the halls of the Convention Center for Tacoma's annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. The theme this year was Building Bridges, which underscores the importance of fostering unity and collaborating within the community. Several awards were presented, including the Lifetime Service Award, honoring Sean Durnan, and the Emerging Leader Award, recognizing Brian Gatewood. Speakers included Tacoma Mayor Victoria Woodards and Tacoma Poet Laureate Christian Page.
What can we do as a city to make sure that everyone who wants to be here, who wants to be a part of this community, who wants to work, who wants to bring positive things, has that opportunity to do so? What can we do? What can we do to build that bridge?
There's too many bridges for us to build, from Hosmer to Proctor, from 84th to 56, from corner store to corner office, from executive to people who we've deemed expendable. And I don't want us to get drunk on the idea of being good in Tacoma, when I know that there's a possibility of us being great.
This year's theme expands on last year's focus, a community blueprint, building block by emphasizing collective action and shared purpose. By exploring how bridges, both literal and metaphorical, can unite people, the event aimed to inspire attendees to commit to building a more inclusive and harmonious Tacoma. A presentation of the entire event can be viewed on TV Tacoma, Channel 12, the City of Tacoma website, and the City of Tacoma YouTube page. After the break, we'll be talking to Chantell Harmon Reed, Director of Public Health at Tacoma-Pierce County Health Department, about their upcoming strategic plan and how the department is helping our community. Don't go away.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Welcome back to the show. Joining us now is Chantell Harmon Reed, Director of Public Health, Tacoma-Pierce County Health Department. Chantell, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So good to have you here.
Yes.
So I have a few questions for you, for our viewers. So can you tell us, as Director of Public Health at Tacoma-Pierce County Health Department, how long have you been in this position?
It's been just about 10 months now. Yeah. I've been here getting acclimated and learning the area and learning the role here in the area. So yeah.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank you.
And one of your first priorities was to update the health department's strategic plan. How is that work going?
It's been an interesting journey. I had the opportunity to not only learn the health department, but also I had an opportunity to go about and learn Tacoma, learn Pierce County. So I have been ingratiating myself into the culture. So I have been navigating and learning what makes the city run and how the residents of this area, what makes them great.
Okay,
Yes.
and 10 months in, I'm sure there's a lot more to learn. You have a lot on your plate, so
Yeah.
baby steps, one day at a time.
Yeah, one day at a time, one day at a time. It's been a learning process, and the people have been so gracious and so kind, welcoming me into the community to learn so much more about everything that Tacoma has to offer.
Well, that's good to hear. And with you being from New Orleans, I'm sure you've experienced that Southern hospitality.
It has been amazing. I've been in the Pacific Northwest about 2 years now.
Okay.
But I like to say that Tacoma has been the most welcoming since I've been in the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, it's been a great experience, I have to admit.
That is definitely good to hear.
Yes.
So as far as the strategic plan goes, how do you use this strategic plan?
So the strategic plan is a critical part in us really kind of navigating like our guidebook, right? Mm-hmm. It is the framework in making a determination on how we're going to plan our activities. It really speaks to our goals. It also speaks to what the community's goals and frameworks are, and really tells us like how we need to plan our activities. We want to make certain that how we do our work lends to the objectives of not just what we want to do as a department, but what the community wants to see. So it really gives us really like the tools, right, to make sure that we are not operating under our own guises. We want to make sure that you hold us accountable. So it is like you can go back and refer to, okay, what did the health department say that they want to do? And it allows us to be able to say, here's what we put forth in our plan, and allows us to be able to say like a measurable tool to say that whether we achieve those goals or not.
Right, and the input of the community is important, and in order to provide them with the needs, we need to know what those needs are.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. We don't want to just operate on our own manifest. We want to make sure that the community speaks through and to us in us setting those plans.
Absolutely. And you know, I don't think our viewers realize the amount of work that your department does. So can you share with the viewers the different ways that you assist, that your department assists the community, the different programs?
Absolutely. So any public health agency really is about like how we live, work, sleep, and play. So some of the programs that we do really is like, I think about our Strengthening Families Division. We look at Black infant health. We look at how we support vaping activities. How do we support prevention, really, right? So prevention, whether that's smoking, drug use disorder. How do we look at septic tanks, environmental health? How do we look at vital records, right? So you come to the health department to get your birth certificates and death certificates and those that information. We also support businesses and how they get their inspections and how they go about the regulatory environment in being able to operate those businesses. Clean water, making sure that, how you are able to access our waterways, making sure that all those things are clean and safe. There's so many things that we do that happens in the background that people don't necessarily realize that the health department is involved in, but we play a very critical role in the everyday lives of people every day.
And even for me, the information that you just shared, I'm just like, wow, I didn't realize that there's so many different programs that the health department provides. So that's great information to share. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I also understand you're developing a new program right here in Tacoma called Street Medicine. Yes. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we are absolutely excited to roll out this program. It is one that I have been very familiar with in the course of my healthcare years. It was a need that we know meets us in those people that are unhoused and are homeless in our community. Oftentimes they are, in a state of despair, just, where they are, just living in community. And it is an opportunity for us to meet them where they are. So what we are going to do is we mobilize units that goes directly to them. Transportation is an issue, making sure that they sustain their belongings. Sometimes they don't want to be able to go to facilities or go to clinics because they don't want to leave their belongings. This allows us to be able to go directly to them and provide clinical services. So whether that's wound care, sometimes that may be a meal, sometimes that may be some direct services like diabetic supplies, it may be incontinence supplies, it may be for women, it may be some sanitary supplies. It could be the gamut of different things that they need in order to make sure that they are safe from a health perspective. We're going to be going out to them definitely right now 4 days a week with 2 teams that are going to divide and go through to make sure that they don't have to worry about how they're going to get some of those daily needs met. It is a startup process, but we hope to incorporate this into the services that we provide on a regular basis as a health department.
And to your point about meeting people where they are, we do have a very large unhoused population. So the fact that a lot of those individuals can't go to the care, I think it's a beautiful project that you're able to take that care to them.
Absolutely.
So that is wonderful.
Yeah, we want to make sure that no need goes unmet, and we're trying to make sure that we meet those needs as best as possible. I know, we've all been in a state of, wherever that is. Sometimes it's not just financial. It is just like you need something right then and there. We want to be able to support people as best we can. So it is a great opportunity for us to fill that need.
Yes. And you mentioned that this is a fairly new project, so we're looking forward to hearing more about that, getting those updates.
Absolutely, absolutely. So right now, reach out to the health department. We'll be in your communities. Look for those. There's going to be an RV. There's also going to be a van that goes around into those communities. Support us. The staff will be out. If there's anything that you can do to support those, we have volunteers that are going to be supporting. There's community clinics that are going to be supporting that work. But whatever we can do, please, feel free to reach out and work with the health department and lend in those resources.
Okay. Now, also, being that it's winter, we are also in the middle of respiratory illness season.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit to our viewers about what they should know?
Well, it is coming off of, like COVID-19, right?
Yes.
That was where I think we all have been in a state of like heightened awareness about the transferability of disease, right? Right now, we are in a state of just susceptibility for especially our young babies, especially for our elderly population, and just those vulnerable amongst us, right, who are just have compromised immune systems. It is critically important for us to make sure that we're washing our hands. It is exceptionally important for us to make sure that if you're sick, stay home.
Yes.
I know if some of you had the opportunity to see me at one of our board meetings in January, I had on a mask. I knew that I had a cold, I had respiratory illness. I did not want to transfer that on to individuals, so I made sure that I covered up, I was washing my hands. I made sure that I did not pass that on. Those are some of the best things that you can do. You can come to the health department. We have masks that we will assist people with. We have COVID tests that we'll assist you with. But also going to your local providers. Make sure that you get tested. Make sure that you get your immunizations and that they are all up to date, not only just for your children, but also for yourselves, just so that we're not passing on these viral infections to others. We want to make sure that we're as safe as possible. And we don't want the transference of disease.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, so in regards to vaccines, because a lot has changed since the pandemic, what is the best way for people to know how and where to get vaccinated?
So you can always go to the health department's website. You can go to tpchd.org.
Okay.
Also, you can go to the CDC website, but also at your local primary care physician's office. I suggest, absolutely, please develop a relationship with your local primary care physician. If you don't, there's community health clinics that are around our community that you can connect with. But those are absolutely opportunities to make sure that you are aware, specific to your individual needs, so that you know what is the best treatment course for you. It is imperative for us to make sure that we stay on top of these things, just so that we are not navigating through in a state of, of sickness, right? We want to make sure that we're as healthy as we can be.
Right, and particularly with a lot of employees returning back to the office.
Absolutely.
Children are in school, and we know our little people, our littles, they bring everything back home.
They do. As a child, as a parent with a child in school myself, I know how it happens. They pass on these diseases, and we're trying to stay as well as we can.
Yes.
I know we did it just in my house alone, and we're saying like, okay, we tend, right? We cocoon. My son is laying next to me. I'm laying next to him, and we pass these things on.
Right.
So we want to make sure that we're not passing this outside of our homes, right? But also it is helpful, right, that we both had our vaccinations, and in both of us having our vaccinations, we're not as sick as we could have been. So
exactly.
It's critically important for us to make sure that we take care of those things.
Definitely.
Yes.
And, just to wrap up, Chantell, is there anything else that you would like for our viewers to know, even in regards to volunteer opportunities?
So I want to be able to say, to everyone out there, that the health department is a resource, and we are a beacon. I want to say that we are right over here on D Street. Come over. I am there most often days, as much as I possibly can. Stop by. There are opportunities to support the work and the efforts, to be able to make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can. I try to make sure that I'm out in community as much as possible. If you see me, stop by, say hello. I'm a listening ear. There's always an opportunity for me to learn as I, become a part of my new community. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to learn. So whatever whatever opportunity we can for you to become a part of our culture and making sure that the health department grows and that we are learning and making sure that we listen to your needs, please seize that opportunity. And if you see us, make sure that you lend your ear to us and make sure that you lend your voice to us to make sure that the health department is accountable to you as community. So thank you for having us. We are very, very excited to do this work. And I'm so happy to be here to be able to make sure that I contribute in meaningful ways to this community. I hope to be here for a very, very long time. And I'm really looking forward to making sure that it is a continued place to be.
Absolutely. And we are so glad to have you.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you for all the work that you're doing, that your department is doing, and we look forward to hearing more.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you again, Chantell.
Thank you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to Tacoma Report. Recently, dozens of people from the Port of Tacoma and Tacoma Public Schools came together on the bank of the Foss Waterway for the groundbreaking of the new Maritime 253 Skills Center. The Port Maritime Center will be a landmark campus on the Tacoma waterfront, home to a new Port of Tacoma business office building and Tacoma Public Schools' new Skills Center. Maritime 253 will provide opportunities for high school students across Pierce County to develop skills and education leading to a career in the maritime and industrial trades. Right across the waterway, the Foss Seaport Working Waterfront Maritime Museum started 2025 by ending admission fees, making the museum free of charge for anyone to visit. Producer Dan Strothman visited both locations and brings us this report about the exciting new changes taking place at the Foss Waterway.
Exciting changes are happening along the banks of the Foss Waterway.
1, 2, 3!
Construction is underway for the Maritime 253 Skills Center. The campus will include a Tacoma Public Schools funded Skills Center and a Port of Tacoma funded business office.
We are building pathways to success, and not just for us and not just for the students who will use it today, but for generations to come.
Maritime 253 will prepare our young people for high demand, livable wage careers in shipbuilding, in logistics, in engineering, environmental sciences, and other related areas. But beyond education, we're going to see how this project transforms the east side of the Foss Waterway.
Tacoma Public Schools, in partnership with the Port of Tacoma, plan on the facility being completed in 2026. The Skills Center will be a regional career and technical education center. Students will be able to take advanced preparation courses in addition to classes at their high school required for graduation.
This is going to help not just students in Tacoma or Pierce County, but across the entire South Sound. And it'll really contribute to the environmental transformation of the waterfront. It's going to really change the whole east side of the waterfront here.
Over on the west side of the waterfront, big changes are happening too. Starting at the first of the year, the Foss Seaport Maritime Museum has made admission free to everyone. Since then, they've seen a tenfold increase in the number of visitors.
The free admission concept, that's been something that we kind of been talking about for a while. I think probably the thing that resonated with me is the number of kids that we have come through our education programs. Many of them haven't been on the water. And so I think when we try to think of ways to be able to provide that kind of inclusivity and accessibility, it's trying to eliminate as many of those barriers as we possibly can. I think that with the building of the Maritime Center and the 253 Skills Center, I think that is bringing more attention to the waterway, and more people are beginning to think about what could be. And I've had more than one conversation with people that truly think that being able to develop both the east and west side and providing that connectivity with both sides will rival what you'll find down on Point Ruston and could rival what you'll find along the waterfront up in Seattle.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Dan Strothman.
For more information about the Maritime 253 Skills Center, visit portoftacoma.com/Maritime Center. And to learn more about upcoming events at the Foss Waterway Seaport, check out fosswaterwayseaport.org. That wraps up this edition of Tacoma Report. To find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer, go to cityoftacoma.org. We leave you now with more highlights from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. I'm Laura Proctor. Stay tuned and stay connected.